Nice Fear Factory shirt, by the way.
Oh, thanks, man. This
No
band,
problem.
I just realized you're going to be playing with them. But
I
yeah,
know.
was the band for me. The one in
Dan rocks.
1997. I stood there in the field at Big Day Out, and I turned to my best mate and went, "This is what I want to do. This
That
sh
band is that band is a game changer. Like a Meshuggah or a Gojira or like a they're like, you know, it just insane. It's insane that they were doing what they were doing when they were doing it.
yes, way ahead of
You know what
its
I
time.
mean?
Yeah, yeah.
Way ahead.
We
Didn't
wouldn't
get
have,
enough credit.
no, that's right. And now we wouldn't have half the stuff that we've got now without them.
We wouldn't have my band. I wouldn't exist. Or we wouldn't sound the same.
Yeah, it's everywhere.
It's
Every
everywhere.
influence there. But man, hey, I appreciate that you've jumped on this morning again a bit later.
Thank you for having me. I'm so sorry that that was such a train wreck.
No, 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 no. No, no. Everything's a train wreck today, and I don't want to go outside.
Respect. Hell yeah. Yeah, yeah. Same. Same. Well, thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
No worries, brother. No worries. But of course, you're coming back to Australia next week for a run with Die Artist Murder and Brand of Sacrifice and Lune,
Yes.
which is going to be fucking amazing, dude. How are you feeling about coming back?
I'm very excited. I can't wait. I love Australia. I fucking love Australia. And it's been 2 years, 2 years since we were there. And the first time was incredible. And we've had like two tours booked to come back, and they've been on like the verge of announcing, and then they get canceled. And so this is the first one that we're doing it. We're gonna make it. It's gonna be great.
Last time was with Alpha Wolf, right?
Last time was with Alpha Wolf. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Good dudes.
I love them. Some of our best friends in the world. I realized earlier that some of our like best friend bands are all Australian, except for Fit for an Autopsy. Who That's it though. All the other ones are our pals.
They're not.
They are.
Oh, they are. Okay.
Australian bands are our best friends.
Okay. See, that's because we're good dudes, I think.
No, no, I totally agree. Alpha Wolf, Alpha Wolf, Polaris, Dire as Murder, and Justice for the Damned are like our best buds. And
All
they're all
right.
just Aussie bands.
See? And the Fit for an Autopsy guys are good dudes too.
Fit for an Autopsy guys are not Aussie, but they are still our best friends.
That's
They're
right.
lovely people.
Have you
Yeah.
heard their new one?
I've had it for a little while. Yeah, I
Yeah.
have. It's beautiful. It's an amazing piece of art.
Yeah, it's slam.
Really.
It's fucking
I'm
real
so
good.
proud of them. It's crazy. I was at their show, their kickoff show, their tour kickoff show a couple weeks ago, and I said to Pat, who's my best friend, the guitar player of Fit, I was like, remember when we played in I remember playing in Chicago with Fit, and we had toured with them before. And then we played with them in Chicago, and there was like 300 people there. And we were like, why are all these people here? And we like couldn't understand. We were like, what are they doing? And then Pat was like, I don't know. And then they played, and their set was crazy. And we were like, are you guys popular now? And they're like, I don't know. And then every show after was just good. And we were like, I think you guys are popular now. And they're like, I guess. And they were like, I remember the moment it happened.
That's so crazy. That's so crazy. But you could say the same about you guys. I mean, you're man, people
We're
are
doing it.
fucking loving what you guys are doing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I'm happy. I'm very grateful that that's true.
Good times, man. Of course, we mentioned before you're going to be playing with Fear Factory,
Yes,
and Thy Art, of course, and a whole bunch of other bands at Froth and Fury Fest in Adelaide, which is going to be
yes.
fucking amazing, dude. I wish I was there. Psychroptic as well.
I know. That's
Oh,
so funny. They're on the other stage because we're on the main. There's like a main stage that goes back and forth, and Psychroptic are on the other stage. And Nico was like, he was like, "Hey, can I get the schedule?" And I sent him our schedule, and he was like, "No, no, I want the schedule for the other stage because I want to see Psychroptic." I was like, "Okay,
man, that's awesome. That's all. It's got a solid lineup. Well, I mean, I wish I could get my ass over there.
it's gonna be great." Fear Factory, North Lane, Dire to Murder, us, Brand of Sacrifice, yeah, bunch of bands. Pestilence is playing.
Yeah, that's right. Another
Yeah.
one, and a couple of Aussie bands too. One of them was reformed called Test Eagles, um,
Ooh.
who were really big here. like back in the day, and they just didn't play for years, and they finally like reformed. I know Matt
Like,
Singh lives on the Gold Coast a little bit, but fuck, man, they're rad. They're a good time party band.
that's awesome. I've got nothing else to do that day, so I'm just gonna. I think I get food vouchers. I get like these vegan food voucher things,
Yeah,
and I'm just gonna go eat at the carts or the because there's like food trucks. I'm just gonna go eat at the food trucks, and I'm gonna stand there, and I'm gonna watch bands all day. That's all I'm gonna do.
it's the dream. And beers too, or no beers for you?
No beers for me, but
Okay.
I everyone else can have beers. It's froth and fury,
Yeah,
be furious and frothy, I guess, if that's
man.
what floats your boat.
Food and Fury. So I'm a food dude
When
too.
I get drink tickets, though, I give them to my band because then they can get frothy and furious.
So you're a good dude like that.
Oh yeah, well, I'm not gonna rip them up. I don't, I'm not that kind of straight edge. I'll just give it over. I'm just like, yeah, here you go, man.
There you go. Have you always been straight edge? Is it something that's
I don't know that I believe that you can always be straight edge. I think it's like a conscious choice.
hmm.
But I've been straight edge since I was 14 years old,
Yeah.
and I'm 35, so almost 20 years now. But yeah, it just fits my lifestyle. That's just who I am. I would prefer not to find out who I am drinking.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm
Yeah.
good.
Okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah. No, sometimes it's some people, when I drink, I get that I'm the I love you guy drunk, and I
See,
want to be around
so
you.
my brother is the I love you guy drunk too, and I'm like, that's really nice, but I don't want to roll the dice. I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
good. I'm fine. And when in my 20s, I was wild enough without it, so I was like, I'm good. No thank
Man, well, your new album, Tragedy of the Commons, is out on January 31st, and we've had a little bit of a taste of it with the three tracks so far. Man,
you.
it's
Yeah.
shaping up to be awesome. I was hoping to get my pause on it before before we had a chat. How far back do these songs go, and when was it recorded?
Ooh, Hymn of Decay and Forsaken were written last summer, not this last summer, the summer before. No, last summer. And then we recorded it last December. So we've had it since December.
Okay.
Um, we've been writing it for a long time. I mean, our last full length was 5 years ago, which is like insane.
Mm.
But we made an EP in the meantime called Torture World, and we put a lot of effort into that, but it was like very metal, and it was kind of this like I think it was kind of our exercise in being super metal. It was kind of like our exercising our demons of being very, very metal. And then almost immediately after that record was done, or that EP was done, we started writing. And then we had about 27 songs when we entered the studio in December, and you're going to hear 11 of them, but there are 15 of them
Oh wow,
recorded.
that's crazy, man. So when did you record? You recorded this back in December with Will.
Last December with Will Putney, yeah.
Yeah. Was that due to because that dude doesn't sleep? Or I've got a
No,
theory that there's several Will Putneys and they just get
like the Shakespeare theory. No, I assure you there is but one. There is only but one Will Putney, I assure you. And he just stays up all night. He's wild. When we first recorded at his studio, we recorded with his like partner, Randy LaBeouf, who does Kubicon and does like all
yeah.
these huge records. He does great records. And we recorded with Randy, and he was Will was actually doing The Art of Murder. And that was when we met like Marshy and all the Art guys. And I just remember he would be up until like 3 in the morning, and all you'd hear is like like just like just like kick drums, obviously, like just kicking. He think he was doing Dear Desolation at that time. And then we'd go to sleep, and he'd be there still doing it at like 3 in the morning. And then I'd wake up at 8 a.m. and he'd be back. And you just hear The Art is Murder from the room. So I think he slept like 4 hours, and I was like, this is brutal. I don't know how he does this, but that's just who he is.
That's crazy. There are some
Yes.
I know some dudes that are like that. They are just like my boss at work. He's just a machine. He'll be at
Yeah.
work at 4 o'clock in the morning, and I'll get in there, and he'll be like, "Oh, I've been here a while," and then he'll go to bed, have like 3 hours sleep, and then
Yeah,
straight back
dude's a
into it.
machine. When we're in the studio, Will wakes up at like with us because we're like an early guy band. We're like a dad band. We're like older. So we'll be up at like I think I get up every day at the studio at like 8 a.m. I'm up, like up and out of bed and working out. And my other guys are like up at like 6. So we're up. So Will get up with us and we'll start working really early. But I remember there were nights where he'd be like, "Hey man, we got a song to finish, like you want to keep working?" It'd be like 1:30. And I'd be like, "Will, I've been up since 7." And he's like, "Whatever." And then he would just stay up. And then he'd wake up with us still. Like he's a machine, dude. So yeah, we recorded with him in December of last year, this record.
It's crazy that now it seems you got to have that big long lead up for releases because obviously with getting vinyl pressed and campaigns and everything like that, it's like
Yeah. Sharp Tone was really good with us and really good to us where we had this tour with the Ghost Inside.
yes,
And it was like floated that we released the record at that time. And Sharp Tone was like, "We can't get you vinyl." And so we were kind of like, we don't want to do that.
mm,
We don't want to like have people order vinyl that they can't get. And so Sharp Tone was like, "Okay." And then we had it set for the fall. Like we actually had a release plan set for the fall. And then Sharp Tone was like, "Hey, it's just really clogged. It's not clogged up for them right now, but it is, I think it's like perfectly managed how many bands they have releasing records at this time." And they were like, "If we put your record out, we just feel like it's gonna be a little rushed." And we were like, "Okay." And we very mutually just decided on January 31st, and it was like made sense. It's like almost exactly 5 years after Power Through Terror, which is our last full length. I can say with all confidence that you will not wait 5 more years for another Great American Ghost full length.
that's awesome, man. See, it's good that they care. You know what I
They
mean?
do.
Some labels
Great
just
label,
go,
man.
eh,
Great label.
that's
No, yeah, and they truly do. They're like, and I felt like it was truly coming from a place where they really were concerned about our art, where they were like, we don't want it to be. And also like you just sometimes you get lost in the flow of the holiday. And they were like, if you guys release a record in December, there's a real chance that, you know, Christmas will just swallow it and it'll be gone.
yep.
And so I didn't want that. So we all agreed that we'd move it. And it's been a long wait. Obviously, a year has been a long wait, but I think it's worth it. I'm really happy and I'm really excited to do what we're doing. And there's some cool dates in there in our release plan that you get to play with. You know what I mean? Like January 1st is a date. That's fun.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And then like Black Friday in America, that happens. That's fun, So
There you go. There you
maybe
go.
there's cool stuff. Maybe Gag will do cool stuff at that time. Who knows?
You get, I can see it in your eyes. You get that stuff cooking. You're not going to tell me. You're like,
No.
no.
But I basically did. But yeah, no, I'm not explicitly tell you.
Keep your secrets. But of course, lyrically, what was your fuel this time? I mean, there's a lot going on over in your part of the world, and it seems to be really ramping up at the moment, politically and I guess socially. Was that all played its part into this record early on? Did you
Yeah.
see what was going on?
Yeah. Great American Ghost is a political band.
Mm.
Um, so we always have been. I just am inherently like a political person. And when we were writing songs that weren't political, it didn't feel it wasn't as fluid. It was really hard to write the lyrics, when I was writing lyrics about my feelings and stuff, which is fine. I can write lyrics about feelings, but it just didn't feel like the right time for it. So you know, Tragedy of the Commons was a concept that we had um a year before we recorded it. I think it wasn't like we didn't name the record after. We came in with the record name. And we knew like that we wanted to play off that concept of the Tragedy of the Commons, and Nico had actually discovered it and we looked into it and we felt like it was indicative of like what was going on in the world at the time. And then that just got more and more salient as we made the record, 2 months before we um 2 months before we went in to record the record, a genocide started happening in Palestine. It's like that inspired there's a song on the record about it. And there's a lot of stuff that's going on right now in our country and a lot of stuff that's going on in the world, and it plays on the themes of the record, and the record plays on the themes of those things. And it felt like the timing was you know just completely accidentally exactly when we needed to be making that record.
I think it's going to come out at the right time too, as you said,
Yeah.
like with its messages and what it's trying to say there. I think it's
Yeah, I hope so. I think the one thing that I feel, unfortunately, things haven't gotten better.
yeah.
Um, Unfortunately, the things that I have to say are coming out a little after some of the things that inspired it. None of those things have ended, unfortunately.
No.
I wish that they had. I wish that they were more retrospective. I wish the lyrics were more retrospective, but unfortunately, things are worse than they've ever been. So, um, a record that generally has these themes of being about oppression and about people not having enough and but then other people having everything and lording it over people that don't have enough to get them to do what they want. And those concepts, unfortunately, they're more salient than they've ever been. I wish that they weren't. I wish that it wasn't like that, but it's more so that than it was when we made it. It's been a year almost. The record will come out a year and a month after we did it, and I have a feeling like uh those lyrics will feel like I wrote them the day before the record came out.
Yes, absolutely. And it's
Yeah.
it's not, I mean, it's not a good thing, but hopefully someone will, hear it and get the message,
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I guess the basis of it is that people deserve to have an equal part share in a world that they're directly responsible for it functioning. Um, Equally, like people have the right should have the right to do with their body whatever they want. I think that female bodily autonomy is still a huge issue in this country, and it's not being solved. And both parties are saying they're going to solve it, and I don't buy it from either of them. And transgender rights aren't where they are. People are being, singled out and abused every day. Marriage equality is up for grabs all of a sudden with this Supreme Court that we have in this country, and all those things are just, I don't know, they just leave me feeling really hopeless, but they also leave me feeling like I want to throw a brick. So that's what the record is. It's hopeless, but it's angry.
Hey, it's good fuel for art, unfortunately, but
Right.
it it
Unfortunately.
it gets people to stand up and raise their voices. I mean, we just had
Hope
here
so.
our local elections. Guy that got in, he's a fucking Goomba, I tell you.
Yes.
He's man, don't get me started. We're
Yeah.
going
I mean,
back
it's brutal. And
oh,
it's
with
like
everywhere else.
these are the options we have. We either have the options of fascism or, fascism with a smile sometimes. And it doesn't seem fair to me, considering the fact that the proletariat and the population of this world are the only reason that any of those people have any powers. They work here.
Yeah, that's right. And it sometimes feels like the other day, when I went to vote and I'm looking at the form and I'm like, I feel like I've got shit in one hand and shit in the other. And now I need to choose which shit that I got to vote for.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, it's brutal.
I'm like, what
That's
the
how it feels. That's how it feels here. I mean, I think that, I'll say his name. I think that Donald Trump is a full-blown fascist. Like, I think he's actually a dangerous fascist. So, I mean, Kamala Harris is a police officer who jokes about smoking weed, but, has put more people in jail for smoking marijuana than anybody in California history or some ridiculous statistic. So I don't really like either of them, to be honest with you.
no.
But unfortunately, in this country, it's like you can either, allow fascism to take hold in the streets, or you can vote for some person you don't really like very much who does sucky things and says she's going to fix things, but doesn't. And so it's not a very good choice. And you know what? I'll be on an airplane to Australia when the new president is selected in this country. So when I land, see where we land.
Yeah, man. Could be some pretty fucking hectic shows, huh?
Could be some pretty hectic flights home.
Yes. Yes. Well, hey, man, you're always welcome to, stay.
Maybe I will. Yeah, maybe my partner will just fly here. I'll just be like, hey, babe, you gotta be like, they have permanent makeup here. You gotta come do it here.
You'd fucking love it. You know it. Both of you guys
Dude,
would
I
be
love
like,
it.
you'd be like,
I love it.
what? We can just sit by the beach
Yeah,
and
I can call Scotty from Elf Wolf and be like, hey, dude, what are you doing? And just go
see,
hang out with him. That sounds fun.
It's on the table, dude. It's on the table. But
Thank you for the invite. I appreciate that.
I'll just tell my wife, hey, you can stay here. It's all
Oh,
right.
perfect. See,
Yeah.
we got a place to stay. I'll tell my girl. It's
Yeah,
fine.
my wife will be like, uh, well, who's that? I'll be like, that's Smooth Ethan. He's
That's okay. This is a guy who missed my interview because his internet wasn't working, and now we've interviewed, and now he's living here. It's fine.
funny story, funny story. He now lives here and he's part of the family. So
Hey, thank you. As long as you can handle my 5 foot tall, tiny little girlfriend, who's lovely, way nicer than me. She's way better than me.
that's fine. We got dogs, we got cats, we got two crazy kids. My wife
Perfect.
and my action figure collection. It's you know.
Perfect. Ideal.
But of course, what was I gonna ask you? There was something I got a little sidetracked with that gig. Oh yeah, your first album, Everyone Leaves, turns 10 next year too. Do you have plans to celebrate that in some way?
It does?
Apparently,
Shit.
2015, right?
Now that you say that, yes. Now that you say that, yes, I am gonna celebrate it. I
See,
don't think anybody cares about that record, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know that anyone gives a shit. Um, but if more than five of the songs are in our top 20 streaming songs, I'll play them. I'll
okay.
go we'll play a show, we'll play them.
What about a reissue, like vinyl reissue or something like that? Is that something that?
Maybe. Hatred Stems from the Seed is where it's at. Hatred Stems from the Seed is the one that's gonna get a fucking that's gonna get a reunion and a anniversary and all the stuff.
Okay.
Yep. So 3 years, and then that's 10 years old. And then we'll play that whole record all the way through because it's that easy to play.
Now you've said that, everyone's going to be like,
Good. Hit
Yeah,
us up.
good. Do
Be
it.
like, I want a Hatred Stems from the Seed tour. And if I get 5,000 people to tell me that, then I'll do it.
Done.
Done. Yeah, done.
Done. Done.
Hell
But
yeah.
brother, of course, we're going to be seeing you very soon. But what's 2025 and beyond look like for you and the boys? Like, what's the
Well, first and foremost, Tragedy of the Commons is out January 31st. Pre-order it, pre-save it on Instagram or Instagram, Spotify. Yeah, that one.
Cool.
Pre-save it, pre-buy it, do whatever you got to do. As long as you hear it, that's all I really care about. And then after that, it's off to the races, man. We're going to be back in Europe. We're going to be hopefully going over to Japan. We're going to be doing the US a bunch of times. And so it's on basically. And then uh maybe you can expect some new music that year too. Some other new music, not even tragedy. Maybe you'll hear more new music.
You're on fire, bro. It's exciting. I'm excited for you.
Thank you. It took us 5 years to get here, but now I'm just gonna keep releasing music until you people tell me to stop.
Oh, they won't. It's just gonna get
Good.
yeah,
Perfect.
yeah,
I can
more.
use that. Yeah, I need
Yeah,
that. I need that kind of support.
yeah, yeah. Well, if you live in here, I'll tell you every morning. I'll wake up.
Exactly.
You'll be
Perfect.
you go,
Easy.
more. You'll be like, keep doing. It's 5 more. I'm going back to bed. Anyway, enough of me. Brother, thanks so much for hanging out. We're gonna have all the links down here and on the website. Take care. Enjoy Australia, and mate, in just just enjoy yourself.
I will. Thank you for having me. Tragedy of the Commons, January 31st.